Okay, welcome back to another video on the Maths channel. It's your teacher, Miss Lim here, and in this video we're going to be looking at the Girraween High School 2020 Maths Advanced Trial Paper. So let's begin by first looking at multiple choice. Question 1. What type of relation is shown? Now, I understand that some people might find this a little bit challenging, so I personally would prefer to graph this. So I will treat this as x and y coordinates. So if I were to graph this, we've got 1, 1. Let's just say that's 1, 1. 2, 2. 3, 4. 4, 2. And then 5, 5. So if I were to graph this, it might look something like this. But we can see here, when we're determining what kind of relation it is, we always do the horizontal line test first, because the horizontal line test will tell us what the first part is. Once, 3 times. So because it cuts it more than once, it has to be a many. So it can't be B or C, it needs to be many to something. Then we need to do the vertical line test. No matter where we draw a vertical line, it's only going to cut it once. So it's a many to 1. Question 2. The graph shows the velocity of a particle v meters per second as a function of time t seconds. When is the acceleration of the particle equal to 0? So the acceleration, we know we've got displacement, then velocity, then acceleration. The acceleration is the gradient function of velocity. So the acceleration is 0 right here when the gradient is 0 for the velocity at t is equal to 6. Question 3. For events A and B, the probability of A given B is equal to 2 over 5. And the probability of B given A is equal to 1/3. Let the probability of A and B is equal to P. What is the value of the probability of A? So I'm going to go to my formula sheet. I'm going to have a quick look. Okay, so that's over here. So we've got these ones right here. So the probability of A given B is the probability of A and B over the probability of B. But I want the probability of A, so I'm just going to switch it around. So if the probability of B given A is the probability of B and A over the probability of A, which is 1/3, well, we know that the probability of A and B is P. So technically we've got P over the probability of A is equal to 1/3. So we want the probability of A, we can just cross multiply. 3P is equal to the probability of A. And so the answer has to be A. The probability of A is 3P. Okay, question 4. Root 3 minus 1 times 2 root 3 plus 5 simplifies to 2 times root 3 times root 3 is 2 times 3, which is 6. Root 3 times 5 is 5 root 3. We've got minus 2 root 3 minus 5. This simplifies to 1 plus 3 root 3. C. Question 5. What are the values of x for which the absolute value of 4x minus 3 is equal to 7? So I'm going to make this 4x minus 3 equal to both 7 and negative 7. I'm going to solve both of these equations. 4x is equal to 10, x is equal to 10 over 4, which is 2.5. 4x is equal to minus 4, x is equal to negative 1. So the answer is A. Question 6. The population n of a town after t years is given by the formula n is equal to n0 e to the 0.04t, where n0 is the initial population. Which expression represents the number of years it takes until the town has doubled its population? Okay, so I might just give a random number for n0. So I could say n0 equal to 100. So if we want it to double, that means n has to be 200. E to the 0.04t. Divide both sides by 100, that gives me 2 is equal to e to the 0.04t. Take the ln of both sides. ln of 2 is equal to 0.04t. So t therefore has to be ln of 2 divided by 0.04. What is 1 over 0.04? This is the same as saying 25. So we've got 25 ln of 2 t. Okay, question 7. Question 7, we have the integral of tan squared x dx. Now I'm going to have a look back. Oh, actually, I think I remember that sine squared x plus cos squared x is equal to 1. Okay, that's in our reference sheet. So if we were to look for our reference sheet, it should be somewhere here. Here it is. But what we don't have is the other ones. There are two other trig identities which are pretty much the same thing. So because we've got tan squared x here, I'm going to divide each of these by cos squared x. This gives me tan squared x plus 1 is equal to 1 over cos squared x, which is sec squared x. And now I can rearrange this. I know that tan squared x is technically sec squared x minus 1. So instead of integrating tan squared x, I'm going to integrate sec squared x minus 1 because I can integrate that. If I were to have a look at my reference sheet, and we have a look here, we can integrate sec squared x, but we can't integrate tan squared x. It's not here. So let's integrate this. When we integrate sec squared x, what do we get? We get tan of f of x plus c. So we're going to get tan of x. This is going to become minus x and then plus c. So the answer here is c. Question 8. Let m be the midpoint of minus 1, 4 and 5, 8. Then the equation of line through m with gradient minus 1 over 2 or minus half is. So we want to work out what the coordinates of m is. So because it's the midpoint, we're using x1 plus x2 over 2, comma y1 plus y2 over 2. So m is minus 1 plus 5 over 2, 4 plus 8 over 2. We've got 4 over 2, which is 2, 12 over 2, which is 6. Okay, so now that we've got this, we can actually work out the equation of a line. So y minus y1 is equal to m bracket x minus x1. Here's our x1, here's our y1. So y minus 6 is equal to m, which is minus half. From the question, x minus x1. Now, because all of these answers here are in general form, I'm going to multiply everything by 2 first. 2y minus 12 is equal to, and then I'm going to expand this. This minus 1 times x is minus x, minus 1 times minus 2 is plus 2. In general form, x is always positive, so I'm going to move this entire side to the left hand side to make x positive. This leaves me with x plus 2y, and I need to minus 2 from minus 12, so that's minus 14, and we've got nothing left on the right hand side. So the answer is B. Question 9. Given the function y is equal to e to the power of root x, which expression is equal to dy dx? So we have y is equal to e to the power of, technically, x to the power of half. We can differentiate this. When we differentiate an exponential, what do we get? So here's our reference sheet. When we've got e to the f of x, we need to differentiate f dash of x comes down to the front, and then we just write the same function, e to the f of x. So when we differentiate this, we get half x to the negative half, and then we just write everything else exactly the same as it was. So we can clean this up. We can see that technically this bit here remains at the top, e to the root x. 2's at the bottom. This comes down to the denominator as well as root x. So the answer here is C. Okay, last multiple choice question, question 10. A company collected data on the reasons for given by 200 factory workers for arriving late. The Pareto chart shows the data collected. Which percentage of workers gave the reason traffic congestion? So we can see here, because the question says percentage, we need to be looking at this and not this. Which means we need to be looking at the polygon and not the column graph. So if we have a look at this one, this tells us that 40% gave Q at security gate as their reason. And here, that's about halfway. It looks like it's about 68%. Maybe 70%. Let's say 70%. 70% gave a reason for Q and traffic congestion. Okay, because this is a cumulative polygon. This is a cumulative polygon. Therefore, only 30% gave that reason traffic congestion. Okay, so that's it for multiple choice. Let's have a look at the short answer questions. Question 11. Find the equation of the tangent in the curve y equals root x at x is equal to 9. So if we want to find the equation of the tangent, we need to differentiate. So I'm going to rewrite this as y is equal to x to the power of half. So when we differentiate that, y dash is therefore equal to half x to the power of negative half. And we want to find the equation of the tangent, so we need to know the gradient. So when x is equal to 9 according to the question, the gradient of the tangent will be half x, half times 9 to the power of negative half. Which is 1/6. In order for us to work out the equation of tangent, we need the coordinates of a point. We only have the x value here, so let me see what y is equal to. Y is equal to the square root of x, or square root of 9, which is 3. So we have y minus 3 is equal to m 1/6 bracket x minus x1, which is 9. Now this doesn't specify whether it should be in gradient intercept form or general form, so I'm just going to write it in general form. Multiply both sides by 6. 6y minus 18 is equal to x minus 9, because 1 times x is x, 1 times minus 9 is minus 9. I want x to be positive, so I'm going to move all of this to this side. So that leaves me x minus 6y, I'm going to add 18, that leaves me with plus 9 is equal to 0. Question 12. The diagram shows a triangle with sides of length 9 centimeters, x centimeters, and 7 centimeters, and the angle of 47 degrees. Use the cosine rule to calculate the value of x, correct to two significant figures. So the cosine rule is c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosine c, where this c is the angle, this c is the side opposite that angle given to us. So the side opposite that angle is the x, so we are going to replace c with x. Okay, I might just find x straight away. A 7 squared plus 9 squared minus 2 times 7 times 9 times cosine of 47, but I'm going to square root this. Which is 6.6. The question says to two significant figures, so 6.6. Okay, question 13. A certain poker machine with 3 wheels has 10 fruit symbols on each wheel. The first wheel has 4 cherries on it, the second has 2 cherries on it, and the third wheel has 5 cherries on it. Find the number of arrangements which contain 3 cherries. If I'm not mistaken, this should not be in the syllabus, so this should not be in this test. Question 14. A function is given by f of x is equal to x cubed minus 3x squared plus 3x. Find the stationary points and determine their nature. So to find the stationary points, we need f dash of x is equal to 0. So stationary points. F dash of x needs to equal to 0. So when we differentiate this, we have 3x squared minus 6x plus 3 is equal to 0. I am now going to I'm going to factorize and simplify this. I'm just going to divide every term by 3. So that gives me x squared minus 2x plus 1 is equal to 0, or x minus 1 all squared is equal to 0. So x is equal to 1. It seems like there's only one stationary point. When x is equal to 1, y is equal to, I'm just going to sub that back into this, 1 cubed minus 3 times 1 squared plus 3 times 1, which is 1. So it seems like 1, 1 is a stationary point. Let's determine the nature by differentiating a second time. So f double dash of x is going to equal to 6x minus 6. Just differentiate this, because that's what f dash of x is. So f double dash of 1 is going to be 6 times 1 minus 6. 6 minus 6 is 0. So it seems here that it's not only just a stationary point, it's also a point of inflection. So therefore, 1, 1 is a horizontal point of inflection. But we just need to double check that the concavity changes around x is equal to 1. So I'm just going to quickly do a table as well. So we have x and f double dash of x. So I'm just going to check concavity. We know when x is 1, it's 0. So let's check the others. When x is 0, we've got 6 times 0 minus 6, that's minus 6, so that's concave down. When x is 2, f double dash of 2 is 6 times 2, 12 minus 6, which is 6, that's concave up. So concavity does change, so it is a horizontal point of inflection. Okay. Question B, sketch the curve labeling the stationary points and axes intercepts. Okay. So the stationary point was at 1, 1. And we know that's a horizontal point of inflection. X cubed minus 3x squared plus 3x. So when x is 0, let's work out the y-intercept. Is when x is 0, so that's just 0. And the x-intercept is also going to be 0, because it's right there. So that means it's going to look something like this. Because it's a positive cubic. Okay. Question 15. A mixture is to be made of two foods, A and B. The two foods A, B contain nutrients P and Q as shown below. The mixture contains 8 ounces of P and 6 ounces of Q. For example, 1 part of A and 3 parts of B will make 8 ounces of P. Use the similar method to form an equation for nutrient Q. So we've got 1 part of A and 3 parts of B will make 8 ounces of P, because it contains 8 ounces. So the similar method has to be 2A plus 1B has to equal to 6 ounces of Q. Alright. Solve the two equations simultaneously to find the values of A and B. So if we have A plus 3B is equal to 8, we've got 2A plus B is equal to 6. Let's multiply the first one by 2. So I'm going to just times that by 2 to get our statement 3. So statement 3 will be 2A plus 6B is equal to 16. Okay, so just times this one by 2. Times every term by 2. And now we can use the use elimination. So I'm going to subtract 2A minus 2A is 0, 6B minus B is 5B. 16 minus 6 is 10, so B is equal to 2. And I'll now sub that in to work out a. So a plus 3 lots of 2 is equal to 8. A plus 6 is 8. So a is also equal to 2. Question 16. Differentiate y is equal to e to the cosine of 2x. So when we differentiate an exponential, we can write it exactly the same. We just need to differentiate this and bring it to the front. So what do we get when we differentiate cosine of 2x? So when we differentiate cosine of f of x, we get negative f dash of x at the front and then sine of f of x. So we're going to have negative 2 at the front and then sine of 2x. Question 17. Given the function f of x is equal to x squared plus 2x and g of x is equal to x plus 1, find f of g of x. So we are going to put, input g of x into f of x. Wherever there's an x, we're going to replace it with x plus 1. So f of g of x is going to equal to x plus 1 squared plus 2 lots of x plus 1. Let's expand this out and simplify it. So this is x squared plus 2x plus 1 plus 2x plus 2, which is x squared plus 4x plus 3. Question 18. The diagram shows a sector with radius r and angle theta where 0 is less than theta, which is less than or equal to 2 pi. The arc length is 10 pi on 3. Find the value of theta and hence show that r is greater than or equal to 5 over 3. Okay, so let's have a look at our reference sheet. Okay, here we are. So arc length is equal to r theta. So that's what we're going to be using. L is equal to r theta. Well, we know that the arc length is 10 pi on 3. So I'm going to replace that with 10 pi on 3 is equal to r theta. So that means that theta has to equal to 10 pi over 3r. Now that we've done that, show that r is greater than or equal to 5 over 3. So I'm going to sub this value into the domain here. So before we had 0 is less than theta, which is less than or equal to 2 pi. We're now going to have 0 is less than 10 pi on 3r, which is less than or equal to 2 pi. I'm going to multiply every single term here by 3r. That leaves me with 0 is less than 10 pi, which is less than or equal to 6 pi r. I am then going to divide every term by 6 pi to get the radius by itself. So 0 divided by 6 pi is still 0. We've got 10 pi on 6 pi. And now we've got just the r. Now the pi's will cancel each other out. So we've got 5 over 3. And so we can see here that r has, because here 5 over 3 is less than or equal to r has to be greater than or equal to 5 over 3. Question B. Calculate the area of the sector when r is equal to 4. So let's have a look at our reference sheet. Here's the area of a sector, half r squared theta. So we have half times 4 squared times theta. But what is theta? According to the question above, theta is 10 pi over 3r. 10 pi over 3r, except here r is 4. So let's put this in our calculator. We probably want to give it as an exact answer. So I'm not going to put pi in my calculator. I'll just put half times 4 squared times 10 over 3 times 4, which is 20 over 3, so it's going to be 20 pi over 3 square units. Okay, question 19. A discrete random variable x has the probability distribution table shown. Show that p is equal to 1 over 10. Well, because it's a discrete random variable, we know that all the probabilities will add to 1. So we've got 2p plus 2/5 plus 3 over 20 plus 1/4 is equal to 1. So let's see what these fractions add to. 4 over 5, or 0.8. So 2p is equal to 0.2, so p is equal to 0.1 or 1 over 10. I'll just leave it as that because that's what the question says. Because it says show that, I'm going to just write as required. Okay, part B, find the mean mu. So if we have a look at our reference sheet, here is our mean, the expected value of x. Now, unfortunately here, it doesn't actually tell us how to actually work that out. So you should, hopefully you should know how to do this. Okay, the mean, or the expected value of x, is equal to x times the probability of it occurring. So here's our x, here's our probability. I'm going to find the sum of all of that, and that's the mean. So we have 0 times 1 over 10, plus 1 times 2 over 5, plus 2 times 3 over 20, plus 3 times 1/4, plus 8 times 1 over 10. Okay, put that in our calculator. You get 2 over 5 plus 6 over 20 plus 3 over 4 plus 8 over 10, which is 9 over 4, or 2.25. Question C, what is the probability that x is less than, that the random variable x is less than mu? So that means we want to work out the probability that the random variable x is less than, oh, it's right here on my calculator, 2.25. So which ones are less than 2.25? These ones are less than 2.25. 3 and 8 are greater than that. So we just need to add these three probabilities. So 1 over 10 plus 2 over 5 plus 3 over 20. 13 over 20. Question 20. the function f of x is equal to sine squared 2x plus 1 is given. If f dash of x is equal to m cosine 2x plus 1 sine 2x plus 1, find the value of m. So I'm going to write here f of x is equal to sine squared of 2x plus 1. And in order for me to differentiate this, I'm just going to rewrite this. I'm just going to let u equal to sine of 2x plus 1. So technically we are going to differentiate u squared. When we differentiate that, we're going to get 2u. So that's going to give us 2 lots of sine 2x plus 1. However, because this is in terms of x, we actually need to use the chain rule. We need to multiply by the derivative of this. When we differentiate sine 2x, what do we get? So when we differentiate sine, we get f dash of x cosine f of x. So here's my f of x. Differentiate that, we get 2 cosine f of x is still 2x. Sorry, this should be 2x plus 1. Okay, let's simplify this. 2 times 2 is 4. So we got 4 sine bracket 2x plus 1 cosine bracket 2x plus 1. And now we can compare it to this. We can see if f dash of x is equal to m cosine 2x plus 1 sine 2x plus 1, find the value of m. Well, m is therefore equal to 4, just by comparing. Okay, question 21. A circle is given by the equation x squared plus y squared minus 6x plus 2y is equal to 6. Find the center and the radius of the circle. So we need to complete the square. I'm going to rewrite this, x squared, and I'm going to bring all the x's together. I'll leave a gap, plus y squared plus 2y, leave a gap, is equal to 6. And I'm going to complete the square for both of these. Half of 6 is 3. 3 squared is 9. So I'm going to add 9. Half of 2 is 1, and 1 squared is 1. So I'm going to add 1. So that means we've got x minus 3 squared plus y plus 1 squared is equal to 16. So therefore the center of the circle is positive 3, negative 1. Positive 3, negative 1. And the radius is the square root of 16, which is 4. Question 22. Given f of x is equal to x squared minus 6x plus 8, differentiate f of x using first principles. So first principles, f dash of x is equal to the limit as h approaches 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. So limit as h approaches 0. I'm going to sub in x plus h into wherever x is in the original. X plus h squared minus 6 lots of x plus h plus 8 minus the original function x squared minus 6x plus 8 all over h. Okay, I'm going to expand this out. So that gives me x squared plus 2xh plus h squared minus 6x minus 6h plus 8 minus x squared plus 6x minus 8 all over, if I can draw this nicely, h. Okay, x squareds cancel, minus 6x cancel, so 6x, and 8 cancel, so minus 8. That leaves me with the limit as h approaches 0. All the remaining ones have a h in them, so I'm going to factorize that out. 2x plus h minus 6. My h's can cancel, and now I can apply that limit and sub in 0 wherever h is. 2x plus 0 minus 6, which is 2x minus 6. Question 23. The gradient function of a curve y equals f of x is given by f dash of x is equal to 4x minus 5. The curve passes through the point 2, 3. Find the equation of the curve. So in order for us to find the equation of the curve, we actually need to integrate this. So f of x is going to equal to the integral of 4x minus 5 dx. What do we get when we integrate that? We get 2x squared minus 5x plus c. But we know that f of 2, which is 2 times 2 squared minus 5 times 2 plus c, will equal to 3. So what's 2 times 2 squared minus 5 times 2? So we've got minus 2 plus c is equal to 3. So c is equal to 5. And therefore f of x is equal to 2x squared minus 5x plus 5. I'm going to leave it at that for this video. Part 2 will come out in a different video for the remainder of this exam. Hope this helps.